Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Rachel Johnson and I'm the head trainer here at Endless Potential. Today we are going to discuss how to deal with separation anxiety. So, since dogs are pack animals, they would be following their leader, aka you. So when you leave the house, it kind of makes sense to why dogs would be anxious when you leave, because naturally they just like to be in a pack and they just do everything together. So first what you want to do is desensitize your dog to your leaving cues. So you probably have a kind of routine that you do before you leave the house, and you'll probably notice your dog will start following you around during these times. They may start pacing, panting, or even shaking in some worst cases. So what happens is they start to learn your routine, such as you pick up your keys, then you grab your bag or purse, put your shoes and coat on, and then you're gone, right? So the dog starts becoming anxious. They're like, oh my god, that's when they kind of realize that you're leaving. So what you want to do to desensitize them to this is you can start by picking up your keys and then kind of dropping them down and just go to sit down. And doing this multiple times in a row, but allowing your dog to relax in between each time you pick up your keys. Next thing you'll do is practice actually leaving the house. So once you've done all the leaving cues, now what you can do is start going towards the door. So you'll head towards the door, grab the knob maybe, and then let go and just go sit down. Grab the knob, go sit down. And then once your dog isn't reacting to that, you can start opening the door, then closing the door. You don't even have to go out necessarily, just open the door, close the door, come back. And then once they're used to that, you can go through the door. Just open the door, go through the door, come right back in and sit down. And when you come back inside, make sure not to give your dog attention. No eye contact, no petting, no talking, no touching, no eye contact. When you are leaving the house and when you're returning, both times should be done calmly. So no like, oh my god, I love you so much, and like overwhelming petting, because you get your dog excited and then you leave. Like, that is so disappointing for your dog, because your dog's getting all this attention and love, and then a second later you're gone. And they're just like, what? What's happened? Like, it was a 5-second love fest and now you're gone. That is heartbreaking for your dog. Because they just don't understand, right? They just get all this attention and then you're gone. And so the same with when you return, they get this exuberant greeting. They're like, oh my god, I loved you, I missed you so much. And like, the dog gets excited. And so the next time you go to leave, they are anticipating that exuberant greeting. And so they're waiting and waiting for you to come back. And then it's just this, it turns into like this anxiety of like waiting. It's almost like, you know the feeling of like if you were to get a phone call or you're expecting an important phone call and you're waiting around for it all day. It's kind of a sick, nauseating feeling, like anxiousness, obviously. That's what your dog's feeling. So make sure to keep your greetings and departures very calm and not that exciting. If you do want to have a really exuberant goodbye, maybe do it 30 minutes before you leave, so that your dog has time to relax and not get all riled up just before you leave. Next step you'll do is leave for like 5 minutes, and then you'll come back. If 5 minutes is too long, you can make it a minute or even 30 seconds. Like, just go by what your dog can handle. So if you leave for 5 minutes and you start to hear barking, wait for 3 seconds of quiet and then come back, because you don't want to come back when your dog is barking, because then they will think that the barking brought you back. And so once you come back after they were barking and they stopped, next time just don't leave for as long, because we want your dog to be successful in this as much as possible, not to think the barking is bringing you back, because then you'll have a barking dog that barks the whole time you're gone. You don't want that. Okay, so if you have a destructive dog, you may want to consider using a crate or putting them in a room that's closed off so that they can't practice destroying your furniture or house or whatever. And this doesn't mean just throwing your dog in a crate or the room and leaving, especially if your dog already has a negative reaction to being crated. You'll have to desensitize your dog to the crate so that they feel safe and that it's okay to be in there, so that they're not stressed out, because that will just stress them out way more if they're not crate trained, and we will get to that in the next video. Another thing you can do is practice your stay command, so getting your dog to sit or down stay, and then practice leaving the room and then coming back and treating your dog. So we don't call them out of the stay, because if we were to call them out, we would be treating the come and not the stay behavior. So always make sure to come back to your dog and treat them where they are. Yeah, if your dog isn't great at the stay, just take your time and slowly build it up. So if you're only able to take 1 or 2 steps back, that is okay. Just slowly build it up. Don't rush to the end goal. If your dog isn't able to stay with taking 2 steps back, you may just have to stand there and lean back a little and then treat. And practicing the stay is really good, because your dog has to realizes, oh, she will come back eventually, right? So you go hide, come back, treat. Or you don't even necessarily have to hide, you just walk around your house, right? You could also choose to leave your dog with a tasty treat just before you go, such as a frozen Kong filled with whatever your dog loves. My dog likes peanut butter, or meat pate, or treats in the Kong. You can stuff it in. There's a bunch of recipes you can do. But yeah, just so they have something to do, and it's kind of like a brain game for them. Like, you could even leave out a puzzle toy that's, if your dog is not a destructive dog, just so they have something to focus on when you're gone, and it makes it kind of a fun time before you leave, so that they look forward to when you leave almost. So they have this nice treat just before you go and during when you're gone. Another good point is to make sure your dog has a proper exercise outlet. If you are able to do this before you leave, do it, because it will just help your dog be more tired and have less energy to worry about where you are or when you're coming back. And so hopefully they'll just sleep the whole time you're gone. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, comment down below and I'll get back to you. Happy training, and remember to stay positive, patient, and most importantly, consistent.